Let's start the interview now. Tell me something about yourself. Let's start the interview now. Tell me something about yourself.
Okay, so I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a teacher. Actually, I'm teaching OPIC right now. So I've been teaching OPIC for about 8 years since 2017, and it's my eighth year actually. And I am just taking this test to just, check up some regular questions and how the trend has changed. So I'm a little bit excited and kind of nervous because I haven't taken this test for a while.
Let's talk about where you live. Could you describe your home? What does it look like, and how many rooms does it have? Let's talk about where you live. Could you describe your home? What does it look like, and how many rooms does it have?
Well, actually, I'm not living in a house. I'm living in an apartment, and it's got 3 rooms. It's actually not that big, but not too small. It's just a perfect place for me to live with my dog. So there are 3 rooms and just one bathroom, and there are balconies on the side. And what I like about my home is that there are no um next door, It's really kind of amazing, right? Because I don't have a next door person, so I can be kind of loud at night, I guess. Then there's no floor noise. So that's one thing that I like about my home. And what else should I say? There's no elevator, so it's a little bit inconvenient for me to walk my dog. But what can I do, I got no choice.
How does your routine differ on weekdays compared to weekends? Tell me about your typical day. What do you usually do at home? How does your routine differ on weekdays compared to weekends? Tell me about your typical day.
So you're asking me about my routine on weekdays and during the weekend. It's actually not that different, but if there is a difference, I think that I spend most of my time working actually during the weekdays at home. So my routine is like I start teaching in the morning and have lunch and what else do I do? And just walk my dog and just do my stuff. But during the weekends, my routine isn't actually something that I do at home because I try to go outside. But if I have some time, I try to squeeze some time in to clean my room or just do some house chores like doing the laundries and stuff like that. So there aren't that many big differences, but yeah, if I have to tell you, yeah, the biggest difference is that I do my whole house chores, especially on weekends.
Tell me about the home you lived in as a child. How is it different from the home you live in now? Tell me about the home you lived in as a child. How is it different from the home you live in now?
Well, I actually don't really remember the home that I used to live when I was like really, really a child. So how about I talk about the home that I used to live in when I was like in the United States. So that house was a house actually. It was a 2-story house and there was a loft as far as I remember. And one special thing was that because it was a typical house in the States, there was a garage and there were 2 cars and what else? Oh, I remember that there was like an island table in the kitchen, so I often just had breakfast there and had a cup of tea before going to school. But on the other hand, I am living in an apartment in Korea, so there are no garage, of course, and there are 3 rooms and just one bathroom, so it's not that different. But actually, if I have to say what I like more, I actually do like the home that I used to live in when I was in the States, because it's got more facilities and like, a garage and also a basketball court. So yeah, but it's not like I don't like my home right now. So does that make sense? Yeah. Can I move on?
You indicated in the survey that you go to the movies. What kinds of movies do you like to watch? Why do you like those movies? You indicated in the survey that you go to the movies. What kinds of movies do you like to watch? Why do you like those movies?
Yeah, I mean, I like to go to see a movie, but actually, it's not that I frequently go there, but whenever I go there, I think I spend my money on watching or seeing blockbuster movies because I think that I want to get the most out of it because, nowadays movie theaters charge me like $10 or $15 per movie, right? So I don't really want to spend my money on watching comedy movies. So instead of that, I think I spend most of my portion on watching blockbuster like Iron Man series or Marvel series or Top Gun or something with lots of money in it, right? And the reason I like it is because they're fun, right? More money invested, more fun. I think that's why I like it. But sometimes if there is a movie directed by one of my favorite actors or directors, I don't care whether that is a blockbuster or not. I just still, invest some money to watch those kinds of movies, like whether it's comedy or romance movies or even animation. Yeah. So I guess I don't really care. Yeah. Okay. Does that answer the question? Okay. Can I move to next question?
Tell me about the last time you went to the movies. What did you do before and after the movie? Tell me about the last time you went to the movies. What did you do before and after the movie?
Do you want to hear something really funny? Because I think the last time I went to movie theater was like about 3 years ago when there was Top Gun 2. Can you imagine that? It's been like millions of years, I think, a little bit of exaggeration. But before that, I was just trying to find a good deal for the movie tickets because movie tickets were quite expensive. I just wanted to get the bang for the buck deal. And when I actually went to the movie theater, of course, I bought some popcorn and some soda because Top Gun 3 was like 3 hours, I think. So I know the movie is really fun, but I just wanted to have some munchies while watching that. And after that, I think I found some reviews on the internet because I just wanted to figure out what I was missing and maybe like and I don't know, just wanted to share my thoughts on my blogs and hear about people's thoughts on Top Gun 2. Yeah, I think that's about it. Actually, to be honest with you, it's been like more than like 3 years, so I'm sorry if I'm not giving you a detailed memory about it. Yeah. Okay.
Share a story about an actor or actress you saw in the news. What was the news about? Was it interesting? Tell me the details of what happened. Share a story about an actor or actress you saw in the news. What was the news about? Was it interesting? Tell me the details of what happened.
Alrighty. Maybe I should talk about the actor named Jinung Cho. Actually, I was a huge fan of him since he was known for great acting, and all the movies that he was in. I was quite surprised to see his, acting, especially with his dialect. But anyway, what I'm saying is that I heard that he was involved in a school violence and as well as some robbery of vehicles when he was in high school or so. So yeah, I mean, if it is like a small, small, how do I say, small crime, I think it could be tolerated, right? But then I think it was more like a felony because not sure. I'm not sure because he denied that he was involved in sexual harassment. But when I actually just heard that when he was involved in sexual harassment and school violence, actually I was feeling a little bit disappointed. Actually, quite a lot disappointed because I was a huge fan of him. And yeah, after that, I heard that all of his TV series were canceled, even though they had been broadcasted, I mean filmed. So it was heartbroken to see um it was heartbroken to know that, all his movies were canceled because I had been looking forward to watching those kind of things. So yeah. Anyway, it was disappointing to hear that.
Tell me about the gatherings and celebrations where you live. What are they like? Tell me about the gatherings and celebrations where you live. What are they like?
Well, sure. Gatherings. What about this? I think that there are a lot of alcohol gatherings nowadays, right? Especially because people like to gather up and just chat and stuff like that. So people try to squeeze their time in and just gather at a bar and talk together. And also maybe another gathering can be like wedding invitation dinner. So in Korea, I don't know, it somehow became a tradition to invite my friends or, colleagues from company to have a meal before the wedding ceremony to hand the wedding invitation card. So those are some kind of an occasional gatherings. And the last thing I want to talk about is probably sports gathering maybe. I once used to be quite crazy about CrossFit. So I often gather every morning and just did group exercise together in a CrossFit box. So yeah, overall, I think, long story short, these are popular gatherings in where I live. Yeah. Okay, that was a little bit of random question.
Can you tell me about a gathering or a celebration that you attended? Where was it held? What did you do? Who did you meet there? Can you tell me about a gathering or a celebration that you attended? Where was it held? What did you do? Who did you meet there?
Alrighty. Uh, okay. What about a wedding ceremony? I actually went to a wedding ceremony held in Seoul. It was a wedding of one of my friends, actually, back in elementary school to middle school. To be honest with you, he hasn't contacted me for a long time. So I was like, when he invited me, I was like, why is he inviting me? But I still just decided to go there because it was a great chance to meet up my friends. And, actually it turned out it was a quite good invitation. I mean wedding, because I was overall satisfied with the meal and the parking. And the bottom line is, it was pleasing to meet my friends. If it were not for him, I would never have even had a chance to meet my friends again, actually, from elementary school or middle school. So yeah, it wasn't that like a special gathering. It was just a wedding. But yeah, I think that's all.
You might experience something unexpected at a gathering or a celebration. Do you have a memorable experience from a gathering or celebration? What happened? You might experience something unexpected at a gathering or a celebration. Do you have a memorable experience from a gathering or celebration? What happened?
I don't really have like a crazy fun story to tell you, to be honest. I'm not really good at making up story. So, I told you that there is a wedding invitation dinner usually, but instead of that, one of my friends decided to invite us to a guest house, and we rented out this kind of a beach house, right? So what we did was like we had barbecue, and then we were playing foot volleyball and all those stupid boy things, right? We were like messing with each other, just throwing rocks at each other and stuff like that. Thinking now, it was very memorable because they and they and I have been friends for like 25 years, but the thing is, we were busy with our life, but we had never time to catch up with each other. But it was memorable and meaningful for us because finally we could gather and just do stupid things, right? So I think that was a very special memory for not only me, but also for the others. So yeah, does that answer your question? And I'm sorry if I'm not giving you a very fun story to talk about, but sure, that's something that I can talk about off the top of my head.
I'd like to give you a situation and ask you to act it out. You are at the airport and just found out that your flight is delayed by 2 hours. At the airline counter, ask 3 or 4 questions about the delay. I'd like to give you a situation and ask you to act it out. You are at the airport and just found out that your flight is delayed by 2 hours. At the airline counter, ask 3 or 4 questions about the delay.
Oh, really? I'm quite mad right now because I have a really important meeting. So, so you're telling me that my flight has been delayed for 2 hours, and you're just giving me a last minute notice. So, anyway, I have to solve this. So, first of all, when is it going to be operated? I mean, when can I fly? Will it be fixed by 2 hours? Because I really do need to make it to the meeting. If I don't, I might lose this contract. I mean, nobody's gonna be responsible for that, right? And next thing is, why is it delayed? You never gave me a reason for the delay. I think you just said it will be delayed. So I still want to know why it's being delayed. And lastly, how are you going to compensate? I mean, is there a way that I can be compensated if the flight does not fly? I mean, if the flight is full operation in 2 hours? Because I told you this is really important for me. So yeah, and also, can you also let me know if the delay is not delayed? For example, if the flight decides to be operated in just 1 hour, can you just call me? Because I'll be just around here, but I don't want to sit here and just wait for 2 hours. So I'm so sorry if I'm just being very mean to you. I know you're a nice person, but I think that the airline is not nice. So I'm so sorry if I'm just being a very evil customer to you. So, alrighty, I'm sorry, and please deal with it.
I'm sorry, but there's a problem I need you to resolve. Your flight was delayed, so you can't attend an important meeting today. Call your client and leave a message about the situation. Suggest 2 or 3 alternative options. I'm sorry, but there's a problem I need you to resolve. Your flight was delayed, so you can't attend an important meeting today. Call your client and leave a message about the situation. Suggest 2 or 3 alternative options.
Hi, Mr. Brown. I'm so sorry. This is Eric. And I'm just letting you know that my flight has been delayed due to some maintenance issues. Sure, I know it's all excuse, but I don't think I can make it to the meeting. I apologize sincerely. But the meeting has to go on, right? So I'm so sorry, but how about this? I would like to suggest some alternative ideas. The first one is, may I log into Zoom and still participate? There's a good internet connection here, and I'll be on the line in just 1 minute. If you are okay with the online meeting. And the second option is one of my colleague will be around the city. He will be in Dallas in just 10 minutes, so I assume that he would be able to participate in the meeting if you give the full access to him. And I'll also deliver my organized documents and whatever is needed to him, and I'll just provide full resources. Again, I'm really sorry about this mishap, and I hope you understand. And again, I was not professional at all, and I hope you become a little bit generous with me this time. Okay, thank you for your taking time, and please get back to me.
That's the end of the situation. You may have had problems while you were on a trip. Talk about a problem you had while traveling. What was the problem, and how did you deal with the situation? That's the end of the situation. You may have had problems while you were on a trip. Talk about a problem you had while traveling. What was the problem, and how did you deal with the situation?
Yeah, actually, similar situation happened to me when I was flying from San Francisco to San Diego to attend my college orientation. The immigration took me forever because I think that there was a number of Chinese tourists trying to make it into immigration, and there were, I think they were like little kids, like kindergarten. So there were about four to 500 people waiting in line, but it's not like I could just skip them, right? So I only had 90 minutes to transfer, but because of that, I was just stuck in the immigration line and finally ended up missing the flight. There was no other alternatives because yeah, I mean, I shouldn't have booked that flight because knowing that immigration in San Francisco would take forever, I should never have actually booked the flight. So what I did was just to miss the orientation actually. I couldn't make it, but it turned out that the orientation was just nothing but just orientation. The school just warned me that there would be some penalty in my academic career or whatever, but it was just all lie. It was just full of crap. So, yep, it was. So the next day, I just bought another flight and just made it to my school, and yeah, that's it. It wasn't really a huge problem thinking now, but back then, I was like, oh my God, I had like it was getting on my nerves and I had all the butterflies in my stomach. Okay. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Many restaurants are changing their menus to appeal to health-conscious customers. Tell me about some of the changes restaurants are making. Many restaurants are changing their menus to appeal to health-conscious customers. Tell me about some of the changes restaurants are making.
Yeah, you have the point, I think. I think the restaurants in the past didn't really concern about customers' health. To be more specific, restaurants were not providing beverages that were sugar-free or lactose-free and or gluten-free. As far as I remember, about 20 years ago, when I was asked the server for Diet Coke, they were like, "Sir, we do not serve Diet Coke. We only have regular Coke." And some even did were not aware of what the Diet Coke was about. And another example can be like, even the delivery restaurants, the delivery only restaurants were serving very unhealthy dishes that were not nutritious at all. They didn't have enough vitamins, minerals, or carbohydrates, or essential micro or macronutrients. But thinking now, I think that a lot of restaurants are turning into health conscious mode. I think this is because of the spike of the demand for people's awareness to, or people's demand for being healthy. To elaborate more, there are a ton of people who are trying to get a body profile photo shoot or be um, trying to look younger. So when we go to a restaurant, they and ask for beverages. They ask you, uh, would you like Diet Coke or regular Coke, or would you like sugar-free, or would you like gluten-free? So all the options are available even before we ask. So as you can see, I think that there has been a dramatic perception change in terms of restaurants and how they serve healthy food compared to the past.
You know what to expect from menus in chain restaurants, but small local independent restaurants have their own unique menus. Tell me about your experience at a chain restaurant and a local independent restaurant. You know what to expect from menus in chain restaurants, but small local independent restaurants have their own unique menus. Tell me about your experience at a chain restaurant and a local independent restaurant.
Alrighty. So to give you an example of a local restaurant and a franchise restaurant, I think I should talk about 국밥. 국밥 is pork soup, or like a rice with soup. Anyway, let me tell you about the time when I visited a local restaurant. It was a local restaurant in a market, so it was all or nothing. So I just wanted to just give it a try. There were reviews were saying that the local restaurants were serving the freshest meat and all the nice chewy intestines or whatever. But I still gave a benefit of the doubt because I am actually not fully convinced by the reviews. But it turned out that it was out of this world delicious. The 국밥 was like, oh my gosh. When I had it, I was like, this is it. This is this is the this is the Korean soul. And the kimchi that's were served with it was like, oh my God. But sometimes it failed when I went to a local restaurant. But I think that local restaurants are a little bit risky, but investment theory is high risk, high return. But when it comes to franchise restaurant, it's kind of consistent. So it doesn't really fail. I don't have to challenge actually. So whenever I feel like I don't want to fail that time and I'm feeling hungry and don't want to take a risk, I just go to a franchise restaurant, franchise soup restaurant. It's not the perfect. I don't be like, oh, this is the soul of Korean food or whatever. It never disappoints me, but it doesn't actually satisfy to my satisfaction level. So this time I went to this restaurant in franchise. It's a franchise restaurant. It was whatever, but it didn't let me down. So I think that, well, long story short, I want to say that franchise restaurants and local restaurants differ in many ways, especially with the consistent taste and food price or something like that. 저도 피곤합니다. 고생하셨습니다.